Alright, I'm going to try to make a video as quickly as I can here. I'm under a little bit of time pressure. Anyway, this is the deck. No changes from last time. Sorry about the breathing on the mic there. I'm going to start out with a multiplayer game that I had. It was a very cool game here, playing against the Wolf 2, Shaddai, Extreme Tribe, and myself. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit of pop-ups here. I'm just going to kind of slide these over here. So, the other team's going first, and this is a two-headed giant game. And, yeah. So here's my hand. Now, my partner is not going to play too much of a role in this game, so I'll keep his hand here. But the Wolf is playing Edric. Oh, so here he is. And here I am on the right. Well, you know how it is with these replays. They always replay out of order. Anyway. So the Wolf is playing that, Shaddai is playing this, my partner's playing Damia, so I thought I was going to have a good deck, but then when you look at his hand, it's questionable. It could have been a bad draw, but who knows. So anyway, Kozilek and Edric, two pretty harsh threats to have to face, and I decided to keep a relatively weak hand here, only because I had the opportunity to possibly play a turn 2 tutelage, and then look at the Edric player roaring out the gates. I'm in a lot of trouble, and I don't get the tutelage, and I really don't have anything going at all here. So Edric is speeding up, the other guy is advancing, and my partner is getting a few creatures on the board. Luckily, somebody, this guy, he plays Urborg, which allows me to play Dark Tutelage, so that's a big deal. Edric's now drawing 3 cards per turn and has insane amounts of mana. Kozilek player is ramping up to crazy amounts of mana, so not looking too good for me. We'll take a peek. You can see my partner's hand over here. So, however, I've got Thran Dynamo, and that is a mana source, and I am drawing 2 cards per turn. It's a big mana source, so if I can just get set up here, then this guy plays Darksteel Forge, and I was thinking this is a little bit problematic, but it also presents an opportunity for me. I have a couple of different ways that I can get rid of a Darksteel Forge, but I could potentially play Tezzeret and copy it, and then my artifacts would be indestructible, so I decided I want to keep that in mind. Anyway, I reveal land, and for my turn, I just have to kind of take a little bit of a risk. I mean, if the Edric player's got a counterspell, then I probably lose anyway, because too far behind. But I go for it, and Tezzeret hits with no counter disruption. So I play Future Sight, revealing Impulse, and pass for the turn. So basically, if I untap, I probably win this game. So Edric draws 2 more cards, but now he's playing against a Future Sight. Edric doesn't draw as many as Future Sight. Now look at this sick combo, Darksteel Forge and Disc. So if he pops a Disc, it's going to destroy everything in play, including the Disc and the Darksteel Forge, but they're indestructible, so he loses nothing. So basically he can Disc every turn over and over and over and over. It's freaking cool. So, anyway, so my partner tries to kill Edric by removing counters from this Death Touch guy. The Edric player responds by pumping, and he responds by trying to kill it. I thought he'd pump again, but, you know, I told him I was going to sweep, so I wanted him to just try to get as many counters off GT as he could. And then this guy does a really cool play for us, Alchemist refuging Edric into play, probably because he didn't want me to have mana to counterspell it, but that's great because that means that Edric will cost even more to recast. So my turn, I pick up Impulse and draw a land. After declaring my attack, I go ahead and I finally got that window of opportunity here. Verdict away everything. My opponent tries to repulse his Muse in response. I swords it off the top in response to deny him the card as well as the Muse. Basically, his swords is a 2 for 0. That gets countered. Verdict goes off, and then down comes Karn, and Disc goes away, so we're not going to have to worry about that nonsense. And I go ahead and Impulse while I'm at it, getting a Mystical Teachings and revealing Counterspell on top with 1 less mana than I need to actually cast it. So this guy does nothing. I guess he wants to play his instant. His buddy plays Kozilek, draws 10 and draws 4 in a doubling cube, so he's set to do crazy stuff. My partner plays Vrosh. I take my Counterspell and fetch. Play Grim, play Confidant, Vampiric Tutor underneath a Confidant is beautiful for me. I go get Rift. Rift everything back to these guys' hands. In response, I figure, well, what is he going to do? Put something into play? In response, he kills Confidant. Unfortunately, if he had only taken that last counter off, like I had hoped earlier. So then I go ahead and fetch Winter Orb, and I don't have to worry about this guy for a while. And I've got some counter spells ready. So he plays this Alchemist Refuge, so he can play instant speed artifacts, but those are okay by me for now. I'll get to those in a minute. And then he plays end of turn Edric. Karn's got 3, Tez has 3, so I don't counter. So then on his turn he plays Jite, equips Edric, attacks, decides to just attack me and get his card and some counters, and then I suppose he'll attack Tezzeret or something next turn. He plays Overtaker, nothing we need to worry about. So this guy here goes for Thran Dynamo, and that's getting countered, which basically locks him out of the game for a little while. And we take tons of cards from his hand. And my partner does nothing, and I get to take another turn. So, for my turn, I get a top and a Humility underneath of it. Doggone it. Okay, so down comes Humility, which means that only really Jite is a bit of a threat. I go ahead and Karn, taking out a mana source, and then from there, did I take a mana source? Yeah. Yeah, I must have. It was at 7, I guess. I didn't realize it was at 7. So anyway, yeah, I take out Soul Ring, and then Tezzeret gets me some more mana, and I find a Mind Twist hiding, so I go ahead and twist Shaddai for 7, so he's basically out of the game now. I only have one person that I have to kill who's remaining. Excuse me, hiccups. And with extra mana, I go ahead and just play top, pick up the top, play the top, play Coalition off the top, activate, I just keep doing top tricks. And then finally pass. So I've got a Karn with 4, a Tez with 4, and this is the situation. So he could kill either Karn or Tez. I figured he'd kill Karn. I mean, if you can kill Karn, you do, right? But weirdly, he draws a card and then attacks Karn down to 3 and doesn't kill him? Very, very strange choice. Man, no card he could draw could possibly be better than a Karn in play. So on my turn, take a little bit of damage. I go ahead and Mystical Tutor after taking the card off the top. Mystical Tutor from Mystical Teachings from Mystical Tutor, Mystical Tutor for Terminus, and then I draw for the turn, and I Terminus away his guys, and that's the only chance he's going to get to kill Karn. And then from there, I Tezzeret to untap some things, play Ves, take the last card out of his hand, and then use Karn's ability. I'm going to play some more mana, and then use Karn's ability to kill the other mana source that this guy had. Basically what we're trying to do is suppress 2 people simultaneously, of course. It's a little tricky, but we're pretty much there now. So from here, I just use my all my tutoring reserves to generate a whole lot of mana and start killing off everything else that these guys have in play. I get Jace down to ensure that this guy is never going to get into the game. His top card is a land. I only need 1 counterspell now for this guy, and then Jace for the other guy. So he does nothing. And then on my next turn, I go ahead and fetch a Forbid. Get down Staff. Start doing nasty things. I'm going to close my opponent's hand. It's kind of pointless. Or my partner's hand here. It doesn't really matter. And so on my turn I get to will. So I will to eliminate the last of their permanents, and I use Karn to hit one hand and Vest to hit the other hand to make sure that they're locked out of the game. And from there I just generate lots of permanents, set myself up with Forbid, and now I can Forbid and buy back. If he draws a spell and if he draws a spell, I can counter both of them. My partner does something. This guy remands it. I don't even care about remand. He can have the remand. My partner doesn't need that creature. It's just a 1/1 anyway. I staff him from 66 to 65 end of turn, and then I hit each of their hands. Karn takes a card, Tez takes a card. I activate, or Vest takes a card rather. I activate Tez, ultimate, and attack with everybody. And that is how you kill 2 people with 1 deck. So, I hope you enjoyed that game. That was a lot of fun. And then I had a lot of single games here. The one I want to get to first is this one, playing against the Pink Floyd, who I had on my buddies list because I thought he was cool. Turns out he's kind of a D-bag, so I ended up blocking him. Anyway, I keep an awesome hand here. It's got one of the new cards in it. When it plays first turn top, I go Ascendant. I figured I got this game almost wrapped up right there. Start mashing. But, it's so weird to be back down to 40 life after being up to 80. But he just, he doesn't give up. He gets Janara down. I go ahead and Imperial Seal and set myself up with some extra mana. Figuring what I'm going to do is I'm going to take his Noble Hierarch and start hitting for 7 a turn, and he'll be dead in 4 turns. But he's got Grip from my artifact mana and Phyrexian Revoker for my shackles, and what a harsh situation. I'm chilling on this Will over here waiting for the right time to use it, but we're not there yet. So I can't activate shackles. He plays top and I let him have it. I don't bother trying to counter that. And then he goes for Tutor for Skull Clamp. That's fine, that's what I'll be tutoring next turn. Or this turn, he uses top, so I go ahead and clamp it. So his top card is the top. And I stop swinging. The problem is, if it was regular damage, obviously like I win this game, but with commander damage the way it is, him getting +1/+1, he can quickly pump this thing up and kill me with his commander in a few short hits. So I just have to say done here. So it's a 4/4. He goes for top, and I go ahead and counter that, keep him suppressed. I block, he makes it a 6/6, 7/7. Okay, and I've already taken, I've taken a lot of commander damage already, so not like I can afford to wait. So I go ahead and will, and then from there, it's unfortunate because I couldn't wait another turn and get the Thran Dynamo into play, but I play a land and a blocker, and then I vault. And vault, and vault, and I set Terminus on top underneath of a Jace. Say go. He draws and holds a card, which makes me nervous because, I have a Terminus on top. But I go ahead and draw for the turn and cast it and hope that he didn't find a counterspell. Because he had no Sensei's Divining Top there, it's straight luck. And he did. So I set up my deck, he locks into a counterspell. It's rough. So anyway, on his turn, he pumps up Janara, equips Sword of Light and Shadow, pumps and attacks. 11 points of damage, and watch this. 19 damage from his commander. Almost lethal, but not quite there. There's nothing for him to regrow with that terrible sword. And I sweep away his board. And then from there he makes a horrible play. Finally, gets to sweep away his board. He activates his Nexus, equips it, sends it, and I take it. And he gives up and says top deck harder. And I asked him, I said, what are you talking about? Island Duels vaulted. And actually, Island Duels vaulted twice. I set up 10 cards. Like, I set 5 cards up, played them all, and then set 5 more cards up. And he's like, that Limdol, that Yawgmoth's Will. And I'm like, dude, I had Yawgmoth's Will in my hand the whole time. And he's like, sure you did, whatever. And then he blocks me. So I block him, of course. But wow, what a piece of crap. And he was wrong. So we move on to the next game. So here it's an Oloro mirror match with a smoke in hand. So I go first turn vault, second turn tax, and he's got negate. Ouch. So during my upkeep, so now he's way ahead, 4 mana to my 1 and 3 temporary. But during my upkeep, I have Empiric for shop, play Lotus, Demonic for Crypt, play Crypt, play Well, and suddenly 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6 per turn with the potential for as much as, 6 per turn with the potential for as much as 12 mana. He's way behind in mana. He plays Deep Analysis. No problem. So I draw this, go ahead and take out his blue. And from here, it's pretty much just wrap him up, he's done. So I counter his Divinity of Pride, using a counterspell that I want to draw again, so if I get a shuffle effect, maybe I'll find it. Finally draw 2 lands, so I'm able to Vindicate is Orzhov Basilica. I'd play this, but it's less important with Well. It'll come down, but mana disruption is much more important right now. So there I get a copy artifact. And now we get to do all kinds of nasty stuff, so... copy my Lotus, play Crucible, replay Strip Mine, holding 3 mana up with a Hinder. He gives up. Pretty cool, so I guess I wasn't going to play that. I never had time. I was already drawing too many cards. So here I'm playing against the same color configuration, but commander that's more threatening in the control-on-control match, pretty much, although easier to kill, just because you can disenchant it. On the other hand, maybe it's a little bit harder in some sense too, because it survives the Abyss, so I don't know, I guess it's kind of even. The fact that it's faster is pretty rough. So here my opponent, he's ahead 4 mana to 2 on my turn. I destroy that and then destroy this and bring him down to 2 mana, but before I can even finish, taking him from 4 back to 2 on 2 mana, he gives up. That works for me. So here I'm playing against Derevi. This is a really hard game, as I recall. Gets to Ponder, I think it was. Yeah, I might be wrong though. So I get first turn Tithe, and then Tax. Tithe and Tax on turn 1. It's pretty friggin' awesome. Turn 2 Tax. Finding a Mox Opal, always nice. So I pass for the turn, get to Tax again, since I drew the Opal. Pass. Of course he's going to play Derevi, and I can't counter it, because it's not really being cast, it's just being put into play. And then he gets to... It's really nasty on that Derevi turn, because he can tap one of my lands, and then attack, and then tap one of my other lands, and then cast a spell unmolested from counter spells, normally. But he didn't have enough... If this was an elf, then he could have done it, but he didn't have enough pressure to do that. So I'm able to get Coalition Relic, which turns on Mox, so I'm good. Safe from Derevi tricks. He plays Aether Mage's Touch, which is like an impulse for a creature. It comes into play, and then on the end of the next turn, it pops to your hand again. So if he would have found like Acidic Slime, it would have came into play at the end of my turn, killed one of my things, he would have attacked with it, done whatever he does with Derevi, and then on his turn it would have popped, at the end of his turn it would have popped back into his hand, because he played it during my end step, so the proc happen won't happen until the next end step. But because it's random, I let it go, and random is not good. And as you can see, he gets nothing. And I'm happy to let him spend 4 mana to mulligan. Works for me. So he plays Farhaven Elf, and I let it slide. Might have been a counter there, but that's okay. I draw Staff and in. So, now comes Staff with Counterspell backup. Maybe. He plays Cryptic Command. I go ahead and counterspell, like I said, and then kill his elf. I don't counter it with Mana Drain because I would have got the mana. I had to play it before my attack step due to Coalition Relic, and I didn't want a bunch of mana getting wasted, so I saved Mana Drain for later. And then on his turn, he gets to search for Harmonic Sliver. I always forget about Harmonic Sliver, but that is such a boss card. They really need to make it... I mean, that is just such a great card. Disenchant anything. So much better than Viridian Shaman, just because of the flexibility. Even though it's not an elf. So, actually, the situation here is my board is kind of crap. So I play Oloro to at least stop these two guys from tapping my mana, so you can only tap one, and I'll have a Mana Drain to protect it. And then he continues to push. He plays Cyclonic Rift, and I think about it, and I'm like, you know what? Again, who cares? Okay, Rift. I'm just going to recast it all. I mean, he bought himself a turn, but I get, nope, to Mana Drain a Muldrifter, so he didn't even buy himself a turn. Because there's 5 mana, I can use that to cast Oloro, and look, everything that he rifted right back into play, and I even play a Derevi to untap my thing and fake like I have a counterspell. More importantly, I have a blocker for his Derevi, so at this point in the game, I can block everything he's got, and I can just hide behind my book and start drawing cards. He's going to have to find an answer fast. He finds Body double, so he gets to draw cards, and then top, and a land, so that's good for me, so I get to draw. And then draw, and I get pretty much junk. Will have to do, so I go ahead and will now, and replay a Tithe, putting 2 more lands in my hand. I'm hoping to find a Scroll Rack here, you know. I go ahead and recast Staff, and then I play a land after the Tithe, and say go. I made a little mistake there. I probably should have... See, I should have attacked with one of my guys, and then I could have double pumped staff. Anyway, he plays Mirari's Wake, and I don't use it in response, and his guys get bigger. Oops, big mistake on my part. And then he kills my Derevi and swings. So I go ahead and just ping. Disenchant his Wake right off the top. Find a Dark Tutelage. Start killing his guys. And from here, he's down to just top decking. He finds himself a Sylvan Library. Now I'm down to top decking again, but I'm drawing a lot of cards off the top. So I find a Vindicate, and still no counter spells. But I go ahead and Vindicate, Sylvan Library. Make a gigantic Chalice. Kill more of his guys. And I've got somebody at my door. Anyway, hey, I'll be right there, sorry. Give me about 5 minutes, okay? Will that work? Alright. Sorry about all that. So anyway, I don't want to rift here. As you can see, I'm slowly grinding him down, but I mean, I'm drawing 4 cards per turn, so go ahead and just kill all of his threats off. Set myself up, and I finally get a scroll rack, and there it is. Boom, 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 boom. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and just end it. As you can see, the game is over. So now I'm playing against Smash Zone 300, playing Nekusara, the Mind Razor. It's no good. Not a good card at all. The opponent gets to draw first for one thing, just like Howling Mine, and they get to kill it. You don't win the game by giving your opponent cards. So anyway, I have a pretty bad top of my deck, but I'm able to shuffle it off with Map, strip some of his land, Impulse, and then find myself a Wasteland. A Wasteland is Guildgate, and he's had enough, so that works. So here I'm playing against another Oloro deck, and I've got possibly first turn Ascendant, but it depends on what I top deck. And there it is, Sackland, Scrubland, Ascendant. Turn 2, the beats start. So I get a little, maybe too aggressive, but I go ahead and play Ascendant, thinking that I've got, more than likely I'm going to hit him for 12 here, and I mean, what can you do to get out of this? But I forgot about this card. So he pays 6 life and kills him with Toxic Deluge, so I was a little bit overly aggressive there. No big deal. So I go ahead and trinket for a Crypt. He plays some kind of weird Cradle of Vitality thing. I attack and go ahead and fetch up my Well of Lost Dreams. He gets to make creatures bigger when he gains life, but you know, whatever, who cares. He gets some kind of angel that gets lifelink whenever it attacks. I guess it's like a combo with Cradle. Doesn't matter. So I swing in and he just blocks and kills my guy, which is perfect, because then I cast Humility and his guy becomes a 1/1 and dies. Plays Crawl Space. And I start drawing extra cards. And pretty much from there he gives up. But yeah, it's elementary at that point. So here I'm playing against Riki History of Kamigawa. Not where it's at. So I Imperial Seal turn 1, Jace turn 2, and he doesn't even want to try to beat that draw. And I don't blame him. So here I'm playing Child of Alara, and I've got a God draw. Mana Crypt off the top, so I'm able to play first turn Kalni Gem with no lands in play, then play my land, cast a Coalition Relic and charge it into a turn 2 Wasteland plus my Commander play. So I go Commander. Before I can even finish, he gives up. It was Commander, Waste, Charge, and the next turn Well of Lost Dreams. How just freaking ridiculous that draw was. I love those draws. So here I'm playing against Riku of Two Reflections. I have another great hand. So I go first turn Vault, Charge Relic, turn 2 Dark Tutelage. But he plays turn 1 Soul Ring, and I top deck copy Artifact, so even better, I get to copy it, play the Dark Tutelage, and charge the Relic. So looking at that, he decides he gives up. I guess too far ahead. Too far ahead. This is a common theme. How fast you can get ahead. You win games because there's no way your opponent can catch up, because they're like dozens of turns behind. So look at this beautiful draw here. First turn tax, turn 2 Confidant if he lets me tax. He does, so I go ahead and take a couple islands and a swamp, and then decide I'm actually going to do this instead. I'll play the Confidant next turn, Confidant. So I go ahead and tithe. and then I tax shuffle for no reason at all, and it shuffles me into an ascendant. So I go his black, thinking black might be how he'll get through. He might have like black removal for ascendant. This is definitely a threat. Poisonous could quickly kill me. Thank goodness for a few creatures, but he plays this. All his creatures have to be blocked by 2 creatures or more, so I have to double block that stupid Virulent Sliver. No big deal. And then in the face of this, he just says he gives up. My cards are awesome, which I appreciate and agree with. But I'm able to. I would have just been able to replay the Strip Mine, cast Dark Confidant, and say go would have been the play. So, kind of awesome. Anyway, here's the deck again. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun playing all these various opponents, various situations, and having all these 6 starts. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.